Well, good morning, everybody. This is my first sunrise service here with you all, and what a marvelous thing it was to watch that sun peek through the clouds just a moment ago. I hope you were able to see that. Then the angel said to both Marys, I know that you're looking for Jesus who was crucified. He's not here, for he has been raised, as he said. Come, see the place where he lay. Then go quickly and tell the disciples, he has been raised from the dead, and indeed he is going ahead of you to Galilee. There you will see him. This is my message to you. In the Gospel of Matthew, the birth of Jesus was first announced in a dream by the angel to Joseph, telling him that Mary, his betrothed, was with child, and not to be afraid to marry her, for the child was the Son of God. This visit by the angel was God's way of helping Joseph accept the news that God was at work in the world. After the angel's visit, it was up to Joseph either to accept his invitation to be a part of God's plan or to reject that invitation. Now, at the end of Jesus' life, once again, an angel from God has come to present an invitation to Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to become the voice of God to announce that Jesus has been raised from the grave and is not dead. Both Marys are told to go back to the disciples and to tell them what they had been told by the angel, and that Jesus was going to meet them in Galilee. Matthew's story varies significantly with the other three Gospels. In Mark, Luke, and John, both Marys were going to the tomb with spices in order to properly prepare the dead body of Jesus. In all three of these stories, the boulder that protected the tomb had already been rolled back, and the surroundings had been abandoned. In Matthew's account, the Roman guards are still at the tomb, and the boulder is still in place. And there is no mention of the women's intentions to finish the burial rites.
I'll tell you what.
You're hungry, I can tell.
I'll tell you what. Touch that bread, I'll eat you.
Matthew tells us that both of the women are going to the tomb, much like we would go to our graveside of a loved one, where we can sit and mourn and meditate on the loss that we've experienced. But Matthew tells us that when they got to the tomb, there was a great earthquake caused by the descent of an angel of God, who once there rolled back the stone that closed the tomb and then sat on top of it. The Roman soldiers were so afraid, Matthew says that they fell like stones, meaning that they had fainted. Then the angel spoke to the women and said, I know who you're looking for. You're looking for Jesus. In the other stories, the angels asked, who are you looking for? There's a significant difference in Matthew's story of the empty tomb. In the three other Gospels, when the women came up, they saw the stone rolled away. It leads to an immediate assumption that maybe somebody had been there over the nighttime and had stolen the body, which is addressed in one of the Gospels as Mary says, if you've taken the Lord, please tell me where he is so I can go get him. With the stone still covering the entrance, Matthew is telling us in no uncertain terms that nobody has been tampering with Jesus' body. The tomb isn't open until the women arrive, and it is the angel of the Lord who has opened the tomb. It is the angel of the Lord who tells Mary Magdalene and the other Mary that Jesus is not there in the tomb. And it is the angel of the Lord who delivers the message of where they will find Jesus. Go to Galilee. That in and of itself was enough for the two women to have taken off, running to share their good news with the other disciples that Jesus was not dead. And yet, like an intro commercial, but wait, there's more. As the two women started back to tell the disciples, suddenly Jesus meets them and says, "Hey, how you doing?" And after a time of them talking, he tells them to go back to the disciples and share with them. Tell my guys to meet me in Galilee. That's where we'll hook up. So, as I read this story, I have to ask myself, if the women were already on their way back to tell the disciples what they had been told by the angel, why would Jesus need to appear to them and tell them exactly the same thing? Several things are going on in this story here, I think. First off, I think what the angel is saying to both Marys is fact-giving information. That Jesus, who had been crucified and put into that tomb, is not there anymore. He was not there because he had been raised from the dead. Then when Jesus came before these two women, the fact has now become a personal experience. They didn't have to rely on secondary source, meaning the angel's testimony. They have had a personal encounter with Jesus. They know now by experience that Jesus is alive. With the angel, the disciples are being given a directive. You guys go to Galilee, where Jesus is extending an invitation to come to Galilee and to meet with him. How are we, who live in the 21st century, to make heads or tails of this kind of event? Are we to believe in a factual physical resurrection of Jesus' body as reported by all four gospel writers and as witnessed by these women and the disciples and as many as 500 people when you read throughout the stories? Or are we to believe what science tells us, that there's no such possibility for a physical resurrection? If we wish to accept the story of Jesus' resurrection as true, does it mean that we are forced to choose between what science says is and is not physically possible, or throw science out and take scripture for face value and accept these stories as historical facts? I think if we get caught up in those kinds of questions, we're going to be missing the real question that lay before in this story. The question of, what does the empty tomb provide? As I read Matthew's account of these two women who are going to mourn at the tomb of their dead rabbi, I think that we're being told without a doubt that God is doing something extraordinarily in our own world. Matthew starts out his story about Jesus saying that God is doing something extraordinary in the world as the angel announced to Joseph and to Mary that she was pregnant with God's son. Now at this tomb, which holds death, God again sends an angel to announce that even in the tomb, there is not death but life. And even here on the beach, there is rain when the water is out there. In this story, we have been given hope that we too, when we physically die, will not be held in the grave by death, but will also be raised to life. The second thing that is being told to us through both the beginning of Jesus' life and now here at what seems to be the end of Jesus' life is an invitation to join in this extraordinary events that God is orchestrating. Joseph and Mary both are invited to be an active part in God's plan to begin building God's kingdom here on earth. Here again, as Jesus interacts with both of these women, he extends an invitation to them. But why Galilee? Why doesn't Jesus just meet the disciples there in Jerusalem where everybody else is already at.
I don't think you offer it.
One possible
That's probably all
meaning
salt water.
may be, in order for the disciples to be able to meet Jesus, they must have to act upon his invitation.
Might take a little while for
The
that.
disciples have to go somewhere. They have to be moved from where they are at presently to a different
At
place
this rate, my nips are
in
gonna
order
scratch
to
me.
accept
That's just hitting in the
Jesus'
eye.
invitation.
Is he telling us to go to the church
If
and
we
read
are
the book?
interested in having Jesus as a part of our life, we too must act. If we are wishing to follow Jesus, he says that we must pick up our cross to follow him. And in that following, we die to ourselves and find life in him. I truly think that this is the hardest action that we have to take, because we by nature want to protect our own lives, and that the life that Jesus is speaking about is the very core of who we are, our very nature. It is our ego. If we wish to follow Jesus' teaching, those things that create the kingdom of God here on earth, we have to be able to make room in our hearts for God's desire, and that comes only by letting go of our inner self. And finally, Matthew shares with us how we are able to let go of our inner selves, by that personal encounter with Jesus. The only way that we can truly know that Jesus lives is through that personal encounter. And I think this is why Jesus appeared to both Marys, to give them the confidence that they were going to need to stand up to the disciples and tell them that Jesus was not dead.
Almost there.
And I think this is the reason why Jesus found it necessary to meet with the disciples, to give them the personal experience that Jesus had risen from the grave, so that they too would have the courage to
And
make
something
this
more.
message to others.
Yep.
It's almost good.
I can't tell you what that personal encounter with Jesus would look like. That's a personal thing between you and he. But I can tell you assuredly that without this
didn't
personal
say that
encounter
shower.
with Christ,
He didn't say
you
that
will
shower, so
always
this might
have
be
a
that
little
shower.
doubt
It's just hope that
about the
stays
truth
out.
of God living within you.
We're just gonna finish up this
What
one.
the empty tomb provides is the hope
Then we gotta talk on
of
the
building God's kingdom while here on
Let him
earth.
sing, and then we go.
It is what gives us
We're
the
almost
confidence
there.
that death and defeat
might be a
does
second
not
wave
hold
of
power
the
over
cycle.
God's desire for life. Christ is risen. Christ is risen indeed. Amen.
Amen.